केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nithyananda, we welcome all the viewers. We welcome every one of you that are joining here with us for this very important segment. And I'm sure seeing the title, all of you would already be wondering what is happening. Right now, as we talk, Kailasa faces yet another attack. And this time the attack is on all the indigenous nations, all the ancient civilizations that Kailasa and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is standing up for.
Yes, and I would like to take a moment. This is Nithyananda, Minister of Justice of the United States of Kailasa, to address what's happening in the country of Bolivia. First of all, I would like to emphatically say we vehemently condemn the anti-Indigenous, Hindu-phobic disinformation systematically perpetrated through the Bolivian media and publications, including El Deber, La Voz de Naturaleza, Pueblo Cambia, SCZ, Schumann TV, and many, many more, which we will share later in the telecast. Multiple media houses have engaged in unethical, racist, and a systematic disinformation campaign, deliberately misrepresenting and perpetrating further persecution of our already marginalized and persecuted minority Indigenous Hindu community, represented by Kailasa monks and nuns who have given up their lives to serve humanity. And this media disinformation campaign, vicious media disinformation campaign, has put our innocent monks and lives in physical danger, depriving them of their basic human rights and liberties. By publishing these false narratives, these false news, they are perpetrating a one-sided racist anti-Hindu, anti-Indigenous disinformation campaign, inciting hate and violence against our Indigenous Hindu community. There are unproven allegations. Yes, there are unproven allegations. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry for that. Just wanted to, for all the viewers that are here with us and whatever you are sharing, I just wanted to ask you, so is this a whole attack that is being launched on the indigenous communities and the various ancient nations? And who is this by? Who is attacking? Is it the anti-Hindu people? Who exactly is attacking?
It is certainly anti-Indigenous media, anti-Indigenous sects of the Bolivian society. Basically, what's flying around right now in the media is that Kaila has purchased land from the Indigenous people. This is a completely false statement. We categorically deny it in every sense. Kailasa has not purchased any land in Bolivia.
And in fact, to add over to Madhyanatma Swami, I would like to take in this opportunity. One of the important facts that we are looking at, especially the false allegations that have been circulating around in the media, is that Kailasa has purchased land, as you're telling, and also at the same time that we have been violating the laws of Bolivia. But we have been very, very clear. We have been very, very legal, and everything, every single statement, the various different media houses such as Eldeber or Vision 360 or FM Bolivia or Opinion, all of these are absolutely misrepresenting, twisting the words and sharing it. In fact, we respect the constitution of the Bolivia completely, and whatever that they are telling is an absolute lie. And we do have the references. In fact, everything that we have done, including the various agreements or the cooperation agreements that we have signed with the various indigenous treaties, is to bring in our services, humanitarian services, to these indigenous nations, to the indigenous people, and to support them in their growth. And all of these are public documents which are there and which are very evident that is in line with the Constitution of Bolivia. And whatever that they are doing is not an attack on Kailasa, but it is an attack on all the indigenous communities. It is the unity of the indigenous brothers and sisters that the anti-indigenous media is trying to project and is trying to break. So that is something I wanted to add in over here, Madhyan Swami.
So I just wanted to understand now on behalf of all the viewers, so what exactly is the attack that is happening right now? What is the persecution that all the indigenous nations are being faced with right now at the hands of Hindu-phobic and the anti-indigenous people? And just as we are addressing this, I see a lot more viewers joining in right now live as we are talking, and we request every one of you to take a moment as you are listening to this. Please share this so people are aware and people know the facts. And just to give you all a context, we as Kailasa, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, for the united all of the ancient indigenous civilizations and stood up. Kailasa stands up for all the ancient indigenous civilizations. And just because of Swamiji standing up and Kailasa standing up for the indigenous civilization, and now all the anti-indigenous communities, anti-indigenous people have gathered against and attacking all indigenous nations, all indigenous civilizations, and attacking Kailas.
Yes, and it is exactly on this platform that as an indigenous nation, we Kailasa, United States of Kailasa, gather with all our indigenous brothers and sisters all over the world, whether it's Africa, Latin America, Asia, Europe, across the Americas. We stand on the same platform and we stand on the same values, respecting every single being and Mother Nature, Panchamama, all our women empowerment, youth empowerment, respecting our culture, preserving our culture, sharing it with the youth. Everything indigenous people have been struggling for centuries. We are standing together with them, and we have been welcomed so warmly with open arms by all of the indigenous nations in Bolivia who desperately need so many humanitarian services, so much support. They're struggling to keep their traditions alive, keep the economy in their indigenous communities going. They welcomed Kailasa, and we have entered into agreements with them for preserving their traditions, providing the humanitarian services.
Adding over to this, whatever Kailasa has done, especially whatever we stand for, whatever the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism stands for, is very, very specific, is very, very straightforward, as we work together continuously to support the indigenous nations and communities all over the world. And the racist, absolute racist media and the racist elements who are there, the anti-indigenous elements, are the people who are continuously trying to attack, perpetrate, and try to use and exploit even now whatever is coming across, just so that they can get their own name and fame and for their own personal agendas which are there. And we actively work towards preserving the ancient tradition, and it is the organization that is there in the United States that has entered into an agreement with these indigenous nations and indigenous communities to give them the support, to provide them the aid, the much needed aid, to raise them out of their poverty line and the marginalized communities that they have been. Today, the very same media which is trying to show as if they are coming forward and speaking on behalf of the indigenous is absolutely twisting what is going